Good morning. First of all, let me introduce myself that my name is Ade Nur'aini and I'm from English Language Education Program. In this lovely morning, I would like to thank for the opportunity that has been given to me to present my final assignment with the title An Analysis of Conflict and Main Character's Personality in a Movie Before You. In Chapter 1, there are background. First, as long as we live, we are not able to avoid conflict, although we never invite it. A conflict comes to us unconsciously, and usually we do not realize that our attitude causes conflict. The next is according to Bond 2010. Literature include poetry, drama, fiction, and many non-fiction writing, as oral as well. Dramatic and broadcast composition, not necessarily preserved in written format such as film and television program. From the previous study, there Fitri Palupi Kusumawati 2013 discussing the personality of the main characters as reflected in Paulo Coelho's The Devil and Him, a psychological study. For the statement of the problem, first, what are the conflicts of main character's personality in a movie before you? The second is how is the main character's personality in a movie before you? Literature review. The first is literature. According to Wallach and Warren in 1993, literature as a fulguration from emotion and expression which designed imaginative idea through language media. The second is intrinsic element, defined by Mario Claller in 2004. There are theme, character, plot, setting, point of view, and conflict. For the character, according to Wallach and Warren in 1956, there are main character, secondary character, and supporting character. For the conflict, according to William Kenny in 1966, there are internal and external conflict. For the internal conflict such as man versus self, and for external conflict such as man versus nature, and man versus society. For the personality, there are Freud theory. The personality is made up for three major systems. There are the ID, the ego, and the superego. The next is movie, category of movie genre such as romantic, action, animation, mystery, and other. The next is previous study, the first from Fitri Palupi Kusumawati 2013, the personality of the main characters as reflected in Paulo Coelho's The Devil and Miss Pym, a psychological study. She analyzed the personality of the main character and factors that influence the personality of the main character. She was focused on analysis personality of the main character influence internal and external conflict. For the second is Lalu Rian Permana 2017 with the title An Analysis of Main Character's Conflict in Anne Holmes' novel I'm David. He analyzed internal and external conflict forced in the main character. He was focused on the analysis the main character facing two kinds of conflict, internal and external conflict. The similarities of the previous study and this study that they are analyzed about internal and external conflict, also personality, main character's personality, and they use Sigmund Freud theory also using descriptive quantitative method. The differences between previous study and this study. Previous study by Fitri discussed the main character personality and the characteristic of the main character. But for the previous study by Lalu discussed internal and external conflict that are directly related to the personality. But in this study, the researcher discussed the conflict causes are internal and external conflict, and also the personality, the ID, ego, superego, using Sigmund Freud theory. This research method, the first research design, the researcher using descriptive quantitative method, and for the data and source of the data, there are movie before you, movie script, book journal, book reference, and journal. For the research instrument, the researcher use human research. And for the technique of data collection, the first is watch and reading movie script. The researcher watch the movie and read the movie script at the same time to make conversation complement to each other. For the second is collecting and taking note. The researcher collect and taking note or writing important information such as sentence, word, or paragraph that found. And the third is listing the conflict and the main character personality. The researcher make list of the conflict or main characters that found. And the fourth, coding conflict and the main characters that found. The researcher make list. The conflict include the internal and external conflict, and for the personality include the ID, ego, and the super ego. The technique of data analyze. The first, identifying. The researcher identifies movie and find the conflict and the main character's personality. The second is classifying. The researcher classify to internal and external conflict, also the main character to become ID, ego, and super ego. The third is describing the data. The researcher describe about the kind of conflict, also kind of personality. The fourth is analysis the data. The researcher analyzes the conflict and main character's personality who have been collected using William Kenny and Sigmund Freud theory. The fifth, drawing the conclusion and rechecking the conclusion is appropriate enough to answer statement problem. Finding category of conflict: there are internal conflict and external conflict. Personality, the ID, the ego, and the super ego. For the internal conflict, there are Lisa against herself during the interview. Lisa uncomfortable with her skirt, and she end up torn her skirt. She feel embraced and less appropriate during the interview. The second is Louisa against herself. In first meeting, Louisa negative thought that she had by Will cause Will cold behavior and sarcastic speech. The third is Louisa against herself when storm occurs. Louisa doesn't know how to do when Will disease suddenly recurs during a storm and Will's family can't contact. External conflict. The first, Louisa against Will. It happened twice. The first is she felt angry because of Will's harsh words and attitude that did not appreciate her work. The second is Will tell the suicide plan he will do, and Lisa, who already knew the plan, tried to change mind to cancel the plan. The next is Lisa against nature. When Lisa came, the storm was already in progress. She asked William, who just lying in the bed, and Mr. Thorne said his condition was not too good and he had contacted Nathan but had not come. The next is Louisa against Patrick. It happened twice. The first is Patrick did not accept that they must cancel their plan because Louisa chose a vacation with Will with the aim of being able to thwart Will's suicide plan. The next is Patrick initially allowed Louisa to vacation with Will, but he had not agreed because the vacation plan thought like a honeymoon instead a health therapy trip. The first is the ID. Louisa lost her job and kept trying to get another job. Louisa looked for work through employment agency and had got several jobs, but she left because she thinks that it's not suitable for her. The next is Louisa confused after Will's suicide plan, and she thought not returning to work. She felt unreasonable to take care of people who want to suicide. The next is Louisa is worried about the condition of Will. She immediately ran to the hospital when she heard the news, and she looked after Will all night. The next is the ego. Louisa rating her resign plan. Louisa want to resign but also want to continue work there after advice from her sister. The next is Louisa still want to continue their vacation. Louisa initially canceled their vacation, but she thought it can be an opportunity to her to take care Will go on vacation. So she tried several ways to keep Will able to go into vacation. The next is super ego. Louisa is worried about the Will condition. Louisa decided not to resign and planned a vacation with Will, and the plan was shown to William's parents to ask for approval. The next is Louisa decided to continue her vacation plan and ask for permission from the daughter who handled Will so Will can go to vacation and invite Nathan to monitor Will's condition. The next is discussion. The researcher found that there were 3 conflicts of internal conflict: Louisa versus herself and 5 external conflict. 2 of them occur in Louisa versus William, and the other 2 occur in Louisa versus Patrick, and the last Louisa versus nature. For the personality, the researcher found 3 ID and 2 ego and 2 super ego contained in the main character's personality. The next is conclusion. For the conflict, internal conflict shown during the interview, first time meeting Louisa and Will. The next is when Louisa confused, didn't know how to do about Will health. The next is external conflict shown when Louisa agreed with Will and Louisa agreed with Patrick. Also, Louisa agreed with nature. For the personality, the ID shown when Louisa lost her job. Also, Louisa found about Will's suicide plan, and Louisa worried about Will's health. For the echo shown when Louisa want to resign and Louisa want to continue their vacation. For the super echo shown when Louisa decided to come back to work and Louisa continue their vacation. For the next is suggestion. The researcher expects that the reader get more knowledge about conflict, especially internal and external conflict, also the personality, especially the ID, ego, and super ego. I think I have presented all my content from chapter 1 until chapter 5. That's all my presentation. Thank you for your kind attention. Again, thank you very much.